Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Here, Joao Andrade, CEO of OneHundred in L'Aquila, in the Gran Sasso mountain range here in Italy for the final of the OneHundred World Series. In a couple of minutes, we are going to have the starts of the 100-mile final. And here with me, I have a very renowned figure here in Italy, who will be helping me with the commentating the race. And without further ado, I'm going to let Pino introduce himself, and then we are going to try and jump to have some images of the starts. However, as usual in mountain trail running, sometimes it's hard to have images of the whole sections. This is starts now we are seeing in Monte Cristo of the 100 miler, and we are going to start very, very soon.
Buongiorno a tutti voi e welcome to all of you. In pochi minuti saremo pronti per la partenza della gara. Gli atleti sono stati già accompagnati a Montecristo in provincia dell'Aquila, da dove prenderà il via. L'altezza, il punto di partenza è ai 1400 metri, ma poi vi forniremo tutte le indicazioni relative all'altimetria, agli atleti, all'andamento della gara.
Very important to note, we have here athletes from at least, I believe, 7 countries. I'm going to check now in a moment. We have athletes from United States, Brazil, Italy, from Poland, Spain, Hungary, the United Kingdom, from China, Portugal, and Germany. We have here a few runners that have raced in the qualifying competitions in Brazil and in Portugal. And we have the winner of the 100-mile World Series female in Brazil, Cida, Leticia, who was second in Brazil. We have Roger Darrigrand, who was also second in Brazil, and then Sofia Rockets, as they call it, because she's really fast, won the 100-mile in Portugal. Pino, just very brief overview as we are about to see the starts of the race on the athletes, and potentially who you think may win in male, female, if you have any opinion, potentially who can take the cup home.
I prefer to say it will be the sex of my nephew. It's absolutely hard because it's very, very difficult in a race that can present in any moment any kind of difficulties. The best thing to say is that the weather was really good with us in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. For this reason, the athlete cannot find any other that a very good kind of terrain during the race, and they can also enjoy of a very good temperature, and they can enjoy absolutely of a fantastic place in which to run. We shall see. It will be like you know in long distance race. For example, a marathon is simple or for all the people to say that after the first 35 kilometer is beginning the race. It's not the same thing for a 100-mile event, and the difficulties are of another kind. Also because after 80 kilometers they shall find a new peak, and probably after that, when they shall have run more than 100 kilometers, we can begin to say something regarding the winner. The list of athletes is of absolute international level. Every one of the athletes that are competing here had a good palmarès with results first position, second position, but for me it's really difficult to say something now. We shall see going on, honestly.
We are receiving here the first images from the runners. This first section, we are going to attempt to have images in the first kilometers, although it's always very hard to say. We have clear open sky, good weather. For now, it's expected to go maybe very cold during the night, but it's been more warm during the days, and we have very good sunlight here. Now, we were just looking at the runners that are here on the start line, and we have some guesses of potentially how long it will take the runners to get to the finish line. Here we see Cida, the winner in Brazil, followed by Leticia Saltori. I see, I think it's Roger da Gran there as well. There are a few guesses. Some people say potentially underneath 17 hours. I've heard people saying potentially underneath 16 hours. So it will be interesting to see if we have here the first known time for the race being underneath 16 or 17. That's extremely hard. Although we have some of the best runners for these distances competing here in Gran Sasso this time, and very, very experienced runners in the 100-miler. Now, we here with the final have a very specific type of race profile. The starts is it's a very hard start. We have around 1,400 meters. It's a start line at Monte Cristo. And then there's quite a big climb. This first 6 kilometers around 400 meters, but it will go almost 1,000 meter up in 16, 17 kilometers. So this is also known a segment within this climb is the king and the queen of the hill, which will crown the fastest runners during these segments. Later on in the race, just before the end, we'll have the mountain goat section, which is a descent. Normally, the king of the hill and the mountain goat are 10-kilometer with 1,000-meter ascent or 1,000-meter descent. And here we'll be crowning the king of the hill at the start and the mountain goats towards the end. Pino, just a brief overview of the athletes that we have here competing today.
Okay. I have to say that I was really impressed about the athlete you call Sida, because your friend for me is Maria Aparecida Cunha. She's an athlete in the category 45, 49 years, running in 10 events, was a winner in 5 of those, and was not any time over the second place. This one means to have a very good character, to be a strong athlete, well trained, absolutely. And we will remember that the 20 August of this year, she was a winner in La Mission in Brazil, in running in 9 hours 16 and 40. She was the winner in particular of the 100 miles in Rio. And so for me, this one is my favorite. I was absolutely impressed. Remaining in the women's sector, we have to speak also about the Polish athlete Patricia Berenzowska, that is also for her is the category 45, 49 years. In July last year, she was running in the summit run, 237 kilometers in Poland, and she was the winner. She was running with other 14 women. She was the winner in 38 hour, 44 and 24, and this one also is a phenomenon, because to be able to run, to be involved in event, to be concentrated, and to give the maximum for a so long time, it's absolutely something particular to study and to give gift any moment. Patrizia Berenzowska was competing every time in Poland, but also in Portugal. She was running there in 2020, and she was the winner in the ultra marathon in Portugal, running 284 kilometers in a total time of 41 hour 9 minutes. So also for her, we have to move the cap absolutely. Sofia, how do you pronounce rocket?
I would say rocket.
Rocket.
She's like
Rocket.
rockets, yes.
Rocket. Yes. Sofia Rocket also in May this year, 6 May, was the winner in the ultra trail Sierra de São Mamede, 106 kilometer. She's running every time in Portugal. I don't know the reason, but some reason absolutely has to be there. She was running also in 2018 in Peñagolosa Trail in Spain, 85 kilometer. And we have not to forget that she was the winner in Douro, Portugal, 100 mile, and she was second in July. She was the winner, but we have to remember that Douro is the second event of our World Series. Then for the women, we have also Adriana Rosa. She was the first in Rio FKT 100 mile, and Letizia Saltori that was second in the World Series in Rio in April this year. So it's absolutely a very big group of women, and we have to appreciate all of them. In the men group, we have Roger Mark Carvalho, Dargran, athlete coming from United States. He was second in Rio World Series, first qualification event for the World Series. Then running with the bib number 15 is Cody Reed, also from United States. This one is a very young athlete in the category 2034. And so it's also difficult to find young people that are involved in this kind of event. He was running in South Africa, in United States, in Spain, in France, in New Zealand, and twice in Italy. He was running in Lavaredo. Totally, he was running in 30 events from 2016 to this year, and he was winner in 13 of these events. But we have also to consider that 4 times he didn't finish the event. And so we shall see. I hope good luck for him, but we have to wait some period. Then with bib number 18, one of the last people that was giving his confirmation to participate for the category 35-39, an athlete coming from Australia is Morgan Pilley. He was a winner in Italy in Pale Ultra Trail, a short one, 55 kilometer only. He was third in Ascoli in the Extreme Trail and also in Terminillo in the K42. In 2021, he was third in the Ultra Mirage in Turkey on the 100 kilometer. And this year, he was competing in May in France in Volvi Volcanic Experience 110 kilometer, and in June in Poland he was seventh in the festival European festival for the Corsa Crinica. This is all. This is all. It's not few, absolutely not few. And also tomorrow we shall have other athletes involved in the 100 kilometer and then in the short event.
We were just receiving images here of Leticia Saltori from Brazil, here doing the first ascent. I was just checking here on the GPS tracking now, which is being updated. It's not 100% reliable information. It depends on the last updates of the GPS tracking devices, but it gives us an overall idea that there's a group at the front. It seems we have Morgan Pili, also Alexander Kabensteiner, who this year also won a race against Morgan, which came second. So that's a nice fight to see them there again. Then followed by Roger, Cody Reeds, and also Emmanuel Ludoviski. And so these five runners seem to be creating the first gap to the group that is following. Um, I think Cody Reed potentially is taking a little bit of the leads, and then there's a group with Cida, Maria Cunha, with Leticia, and then some other runners potentially opening up slightly a gap, and towards the last group, Emilia and Adriana Drica from Brazil. So it's really not unexpected, we shall say, if Morgan, Pili, Alexander, and Cody are at the front. Cody is extremely good athlete. He used to be part of the Coconino Cowboys, now living in South Africa. And here in the woman division, on the female side, we were talking about Patricia Berenauskas. She's more of really 24-hour, 48-hour, and long ultra running on more on asphalt, but she does a bit of trail running now and then and more of adventure racing. Funny story, this 281 kilometers, the PT 281 in 2020, I was the support crew for her. So I was basically her team when she won the female on this race. And just last month, as a reminder, she beat the European record for the 48 hours. And so she's a very strong runner, attempting here to go against very strong runners as well on the 100-mile division. She's got very, very good pedigree on the ultra running side, testing herself here on the ultra mountain trail. Now, I was going to say that throughout the day today, tomorrow with the 100K, which will coincide with the 100-miler, we'll be following whenever we have images from the race. The first section of the race, there's less internet, but then later on, in the 100K race tomorrow, we start to have more images. And the 100-miler, we will attempt around 4 p.m. to get more images on the in the Campo Imperatore. And then potentially again around 7 p.m. and then 8 p.m. Going to try and also have images from the runners at the live station later on in the race, but it will of course depend on how the internet connection are in these particular points. So the first kilometers we'll try to follow the runners more on the GPS tracking devices and then have more images later on. Then we have the night, of course. We're going to prepare a few highlights during the night tonight, and then early in the morning we have the 100K departure where we do highlights of the evening, what's the position on the 100-mile runners, and if the predictions are right, 16, 17, 18 hours, potentially around the time we have the 100K starts at 7 a.m., we may have the first 100-mile runner potentially around that time. But some people say they will take 20 hours, 19 hours, 21 hours. So it's really hard to predict, particularly on the first edition, what the time may be. But I heard some runners saying 16, 17 hours. Pino, do you have any idea what may happen?
The only idea I can have is that we shall see. We will be here to weigh them, absolutely. We hope they can arrive in 16 and a half, 17 hours. But I'm coming from the track and field on track and field event, and I cannot forget when many athletes, not only Italian but European athletes, every year they didn't run more than one or two marathon races because the the idea was that you have not to run more than two marathons, and between one of the and the other you could run 5 or 6 half marathon, but no more. Now to see from the list, from the presentation of the athletes, that they run more than 100 kilometers or more than 100 miles, 3, 4, and more times in a year, it means that the man is changing. Absolutely, not only the men but also the women. And for this reason, for me, is something really news to see how they have, which kind of reaction they have on this race. It's not the same intensity, absolutely. It's not the same kind of run, but is absolutely fantastic. It means that they are training with good experience, with good trainers that give them the exact information. They training with a good nutrition also, because it's important to and they have some doctor probably that are following them during the different period of the year and during the different phases of the preparation. For this, only to say wow to all the things they do, and looking also the women, how they are absolutely different from the other. They are heroes. Any from the start to the end of the each event.
We're seeing now here in the image, saw there Letizia Saltori, and Cida is now, Maria Cunha is now passing Letizia on this in this section, and we're seeing now the backpack runners, the final ones, which pretty much matches what we're seeing on the GPS tracker. I think Letizia is having a good moment here, because almost we are getting images from Leticia. So everyone in Brazil, I know her husband Marco and the team Piazza will be following very closely her performance. And we see here the runners as well starting to use the tracking poles, because this is a very hard, steep ascent going out from Monte Cristo. The 100-mile race, remembering it has 5,165 meter um, positive elevation gain accumulated, and minus 5,910 meters. This, of course, for the negative elevation throughout the whole course. Our race director gave some opinions here to Pino on how the track looks like from beginning to end. Pino, a brief description on how the 100-mile course is here in Gran Sasso.
So, like we said before, the first part of the race is absolutely the most technical, and the athletes are going up for many meters. We said before, I don't remember exactly from the altimetry. Yes, they are starting from 1,400 meter and they reach the 2,495 meters. So it's absolutely the most technical part. Then they shall go to begin the downhill and shall proceed for many kilometers. We can say from the 15 kilometer to 80 kilometer. They are going down. Also, if there are many parts of the race with up and down. From after 80 kilometer, they have to reach a new elevation point, 1,800 meter. That is corresponding with 100 kilometer. Then they shall go down till the 120 kilometer. There is another peak, not so hard like before, but they reach again 1,600 meter. And then they proceed from 120 kilometer to 145, 148, going up and down. And then the final part is absolutely the most simple, or, but simple for someone because some people is in a very good condition when it's going up and there's some problem when it's going down. Also because is a simple reason. When you are going up, you find the floor before. When you are running in downhill, you find the floor later. So could be dangerous. And this one is also another particular physiological situation because our muscles, the muscles of the athlete are used to run on flat. But going up and down, the work that the muscles do is absolutely different. And also this one is a very important one of the 100-mile problem to solve, to understand why these athletes are able to run so fast in conditions that are so different.
We are again seeing here some images. We have Drika that won the Rio FKT, a race that we organized during the start of the unfortunate COVID era, where we had runners in groups of 5 each Saturday. So only 5 runners, and then during 4 Saturdays, the best runners in Brazil tried to beat the time of the fastest runner during the 4 weekends. And Enrica ended up winning the 100 miles. Here now in stake at the World Series, we have introduced this year a total purse of 100,000 pounds, which is roughly 120,000 euros in total for the World Series. We left half of it here for the Gran Sasso final. So the winners of the 100-mile and the 100-mile World Series here in Gran Sasso will be taking home a prize of 6,000 euros. And this is the first time that it's introduced this level of prize money in this type of competition. It's an effort OneHundred is doing to help the professionalization of the sports so that more and more athletes can be dedicated to trail running and to pushing the limits of what's possible far and far beyond. Now, we also have then we have prize money between the first and the fifth place. They will vary between closely to 750 euros for the 55th place to 6,000 winner. 6,000 euros for the male and female winner, and then we have also for each group category and for the king of the hill and the mountain goats segments as well. Just by looking into the start, it's very possible that the winner of the king of the hill is going to be one of the runners in the front pack, because the king of the hill segment starts pretty much at coincides almost with the start of the 100 milers. So potentially one of the first pack of runners is going to take home the king of the hill awards. Now, the course was designed thinking already about strategy. That's why we introduced the segments, the king of the hill and the mountain goat, which are things more known in cycling, for example. And so runners have to adapt their strategy to see, am I going to go fast at the beginning, knowing that I may pay the price further down the roads, and this for the ascent, but towards the end they may be a bit destroyed, feeling knackered, and how are they going to face the last descent that pretty much comes to just a few kilometers from the finish line. It will be very interesting to see, particularly the end. I think if the male, the front runner, and the female front runner, if they are feeling in good shape, I think they might try and go for it quickly at the end. They pretty much know I think, the result.
It was the same thing many years ago, for especially for women. In the marathon race, there was a prize, a money prize, also for the athlete that was first after 15 kilometer. But after 2 or 3 events, they understand that people are going there only to run 15 kilometers, no more. So the new condition was, okay, you win the prize if you arrive at the end of the marathon, not
Yes.
not only if you run 15 kilometers. But also for this, permit me to say compliments to all of you that are organizing the 100, especially this final in Italy. We are honored to have the finally of 100 in Italy, because you are working all the year, looking for a sponsor, for supporter that can help you to arrive to give money to these heroes.
That's very well said, Pino, because in fact it is. Sometimes runners do these heroic feats and inspire people to do more, to go further, to do better. And so these endurance sports, particularly trail running, and this combination with the mountain makes it even quite special. Unfortunately, in the last 2 years and a half, or particularly during 2 years, we had COVID. So many people shut down inside their houses, and now the world started opening up, and we have the races, the opportunity to experience the nature again, and a lot of people started these sports, actually an outdoor sports, during COVID, and we are seeing such an increase of participation, particularly in trail running, one of the fastest, if not the fastest growing sport in the world. We are seeing such growing number of participants everywhere in the world, growing of number of races as well. And I always say there's space for the more recreational runs, amateur runs, but also there's space, and this is where one of the areas we want to help the potential is for runners to become professional, to compete professionally, and to come to a 100 World Series competition and try and also make a living out of it and their teams, and help more people also to be inspired and come to share the trails. And this is one of the beauties of trail running. In football, it's difficult you share the field with the likes of Ronaldo and Messi. But here, if you have an idol, you can share the same trail in the same day, and you can be there at the start line with the idols or the favorite runner. You can be on the same spot, and with the technologies that we're bringing, the live streaming, the GPS tracking, the live results, it makes it so much better as an experience for people at home to be able to follow the race as well. So it's a platform to enable runners to do what they love and live from it, because there's no harm doing what we love, but also making a living of what we do. My wife is a dentist, and she loves what she does, but she gets paid for it. So why not for running if it happens for other sports?
Sure. This one could be a good solution also for many athletes that, for example, running a marathon, are not too able to arrive in the first 10, 12 position. and could try to begin a new experience, going on the mountains, going all around Europe, all around the world, to test themselves on long distances. And the money is absolutely a good mirage to follow, and from a mirage could become a reality. Okay.
I think we are going to end the first section of the live streaming in a few minutes. I was going to just introduce that after the Gran Sasso World Series final this weekend, we are going to be announcing the dates of the final position of the rankings of the World Series for this year. I can say that right now in the 100-mile category, we have Hugo Gonçalves, who won the Portuguese race, the Douro Paiva World Series, and Daniel Maier that won the 100-mile race in Brazil with 120 points. This in the male, and then in the female category, right now, we have Sofia Roquette, who is running here in Gran Sasso with 120 points, being elite golds, and also Maria Cunha, or Sida, is running here in Gran Sasso as well with 120 points. But we are going to be announcing this after the event is completed here in Gran Sasso, so all of you at home can see who is ranking higher. Anyway, the winner of the World Series is whoever wins the race here today, which is different from the ranking. So let's see from these amazing athletes that are out there right now up in the mountain battling for a good position, but at the same time enjoying the experience in this amazing mountain range. We are going to be following throughout this afternoon today, but particularly stay tuned tomorrow. Tomorrow we expect to have very good image conditions and good updates on the GPS tracking, and on Sunday on the shorter distances, the 15K and the 30K, to have continuous live streaming of those distances. The 100-miler is always more of a challenge because we don't have internet always in the course. So I'm going to ask my team here. We are going to end the transmission very shortly. Stay tuned into our social media, and as soon as we have images, we are going to come back here into the live transmission. Thank you, everyone, and stay tuned.